Welcome to another installment of 7th Plymouth Chat. I'm your host, Steve DeGrecci, and today we're going to be talking with Geoff Diehl, who is a candidate for state representative representing Whitman, Abington, and East Bridgewater. Welcome, Geoff.
Thanks, Steve, for having me again.
What's been going on? I know you're out every night of the week, just about. What have you been doing lately?
Lately, we've been getting a campaign office together. We're going to be announcing a grand opening for that soon. But also, July's been really busy with a lot of concerts in the parks. We've been at the Abington, Whitman, East Bridgewater concerts, seeing all the people and kids out there giving out balloons and lollipops, T-shirts, pins, just having a lot of fun. Bands are great. Weather's been obviously very pleasant, maybe a little too pleasant sometimes,
a little too humid for my taste.
Yeah, but it's been a lot of fun, and so there's been a lot of activity. And the 4th of July was just a few weeks ago. Our campaign was able to give out watermelons to people. We went through actually 10 watermelons total that day. So a lot of people. We did egg toss, we did face painting, everything. It was a great day for my kids as well. It was fun.
Yeah. Now I was at a couple of those concerts here in Whitman at the gazebo, and did you met Stephen Lynch, Congressman Lynch?
Yeah, actually, Steve Lynch came out. He's got a primary candidate, so I think he's out meeting the people again, and it's great. Had a chance to talk to him, get a perspective on what he sees as some challenges for the state, and it was actually very nice refreshing to get perspective from someone who, while he's on the other side of the aisle, I think he
was he cordial?
Very cordial.
Yeah.
Oh no, sure. I think he's a solid guy. Yeah.
The most conservative member of that delegation?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
That is what I've heard. But he actually was not for the national health care plan, and so that I think has brought a little bit of angst out against him.
Yeah.
The person running is actually the political chair, I think, of the SEIU. So they weren't happy with that decision. Now he's got a primary opponent, and we'll see what happens there.
Anyway. The Governor Deval Patrick, was in the Commonwealth recently, actually in this district recently, I should say, and he was in Abington, more specifically, and he took credit for the $1.6 million transportation grant. And can you tell us what's up with that grant? What's that all about?
Yeah. The governor was in Abington on Friday, along with the Secretary of Transportation, to speak about how they were able to get a grant to pay for, I guess, dressing up a part of the business district. They're going to repave some parking spaces there. It features a new traffic light and I guess a great big clock is what they're talking about. It's interesting because Abington, of the 3 towns in the district, I'd say has a budget that's suffering the most. Right. So I've heard a lot of people think that 1.6 could have been used potentially elsewhere. You've got 2 schools closed. It'd be nice if maybe he'd visited to see, that there was 2 schools that were closed in 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row we've had a school closed, and then also there's a fire station that's closed. So, and the highway department that I think was there on hand too is down to 4 people, a 4-person staff. So while $1.6 million to dress up, a section of the business district is nice, it's a one-time, it's a one-time deal. It sure would be nice to have state funds coming back to the district and the town on a more regular basis, so they don't have to be having these closings, and so yeah, it was nice to have him here, and I'm sure that we'll benefit from having that.
Right. Now, were you there for that event?
No, actually, I had some other activities I had to be at, so yeah,
okay.
I didn't make that one.
And what is the issue? Is it Abington that has to cap a landfill?
There is a landfill issue up in Abington. I think it goes back to in the 1970s. They were supposed to cap this landfill. Now they're working, I believe, on a solution, a long-term solution to be able to pay for that landfill cap, but. Obviously the town's got major financial issues, so I think they're trying to work out the issue in small bites so that it doesn't just completely bankrupt the town overnight. It's quite a bit of money that they need to come up with. I think in sum of over $3 million, but something that I'd like to get my hands in once I'm in office.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any knowledge of any other stimulus money being spent in this district?
Right now, I don't think this district is getting any other direct spending on stimulus money. I know that Deval Patrick was in the news today in the paper for, you know, $500,000.
$500,000.
$500,000
Road signs.
On road signs, promoting the fact that he was able to apply stimulus funds to.
It's great to have an ego, isn't it?
I work for a sign company. I like signs,
Yeah,
but I don't know if I like
yeah.
signs that cost the state $500,000 just to say that, you know, one person
Yes.
got that done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think that right now we're dealing with any other stimulus that help our district directly. But there are projects going on, you know, using some of that stimulus money. I think the other problem with the stimulus money was that most of it's been used to patch education budgets across the state for the last 2 years, and now that's run out. So I think we're nearing the end of that, and that's going to cause, I think, some more. They're already projecting lower local aid again next year. I mean, we've already had, you know, cuts for the last several years. Being on the finance committee, I know this directly, and we're already hearing that local aid is planning to take another hit next year.
Yeah. Now, the stimulus money was to help with the education. Where else was stimulus money spent? To retain staff at the State House, or do you have any knowledge of that?
No, I don't believe it was allowed to be used. That most of it was supposed to be going towards, believe it or not, you know, the infrastructure,
shovel-ready
jobs,
yeah.
and a lot of it focusing on, you know, I think roads and highways and things like that. But again, I think they were able to make some exceptions and get it, you know, diverted to use for education sort of patches, which I don't think was the original intent. I mean, stimulus money was supposed to be put in place to get, you know, new construction shovel-ready jobs going and get people back to work. And in reality, again, it was just plugging holes. Now, it's funny, there was a hearing down in D.C. and Governor Patrick was there. This is about a month or so ago, and a gentleman was asking, you know, about the stimulus money was supposed to pay workers at a rate of the federal union rate, which is actually lower than what the state union rate is. And so what happened was, in essence, more union workers here in Massachusetts, less workers got higher pay. So the money wasn't spread out to as many people. It was supposed to try to get as many people working as possible at a lower federal rate rather than the higher state rate. But the money was ended up spent at a higher rate that the state pays. So less people were put to work is the bottom line. And I think that was, I don't think that was the best decision for the use of that money.
In keeping with Governor Deval Patrick, he plans to eliminate MCAS.
Yeah, this is just.
What's the story with that,
This
Jeff?
is kind of just developing. It looks like there's a national program being pushed by the Gates Foundation, Common Core, and what it does is it takes states who adopt it off their standards and puts it on the national standards, which, according to the Pioneer Institute here locally in the state, analyzes things in the state. They say it actually is sort of has less rigorous standards than the MCAS. Now, let me put it this way. I know I've got family who are educators. I'm the liaison to the Whitman-Hanson School Board. I understand that the MCAS system that we're on has some flaws to it. It incorporates scores that with special needs that don't allow. It's not tailored to factor in the special needs scoring, which ends up taking the results down. So what we end up looking like we have is poorer results than we really do. But we need a benchmark of some sort. I mean, I think most educators would agree that we need to have a benchmark. And moving to this benchmark, I don't think is the best solution.